I guess one thing I wanted to talk about though in terms of volleyball and just life is like once you put on your jersey, you want to almost leave a legacy in the way that you act and you play. And then once you take the jersey off, and for example the next number 12 that's gonna wear this jersey for rec, I hope he has the same mentality where he's like, I'm gonna put this jersey on and I'm gonna bring something to the table that hasn't been brought before.
Tu vois, par rapport à ce qu'on...
Mais enculé, tu parles pas avec le micro dans la bouche non plus.
Mais non, mais quand même, tu vois, faut essayer de doser, tu vois.
Non, là, ça va, je gère les volumes. Si
vas-y, bah c'est toi.
Vas-y, parfait.
Allez, let's go.
Bah mec, ça va être le début, hein.
Let's start.
Okay.
D'accord.
D'accord.
Yeah.
Have you learned a bit of French or?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, François learned you some.
Yeah, François. All the guys teach me the bad words at the start, but
are you taking classes?
No classes. No. There was
no need to.
It would be nice. There was a little bit of discussion about that prior to coming here, but nothing really came about it. So, but it's okay. I know the basics and
because
the swear words.
You don't feel lost sometimes, like when you're, because I don't know if French people, they speak a lot of English, but like sometimes you can be a bit I don't know. Like unaware of the situation if you don't speak French.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Sometimes it's like the guys are all speaking French and you feel a little bit excluded, but English is quite similar though to French in some words, so I can kind of get the gist of what they're saying, but not most of it.
Not the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so here we're today with George Hobern. That's how we say it.
Yeah, it's good enough. Hobern, yeah.
Okay, Hobern. And, sorry. So I wrote some trivias on you, because from what you told me when we first met.
Okay.
So you told me that you grew up in the UK.
Yeah.
And then you went to Edmonton in Canada.
Yeah.
When you were something like 8.
Yeah.
And you played in the Canadian U18 volleyball team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And then you had to... You had to kind of like stop or something because you had a knee injury.
Wow, you got a good memory.
Yeah, I remember because I wrote it down. Yeah.
So I grew up, or I was born in the UK, in South London, Bromley area.
Yeah.
And lived there for 8 years with my family, and then we actually moved to White Rock in British Columbia. And then after 3 years there, we moved to Edmonton. And I started playing volleyball, I think, when I was in grade 6 or so.
That's how old were you?
I think that's maybe 11 or 12, but this is just in the very elementary level, just like for fun. And then maybe when I was 14, I joined a club team.
And you were tall back then?
I've always kind of been like the taller person, in the class. I can't remember my height exactly, but I've always kind of been the tall guy,
So that helped?
In volleyball? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I remember I played basketball and volleyball, and just every time I went to a new school, they see me and they're like, oh man, we gotta get this guy on the team, So
the first chosen in every volleyball team or basketball team.
Usually, yeah. Just because of the height, but I'm also a nice guy too, So, but then I went to. So graduated high school in Edmonton, and then went to university in Edmonton for the University of Alberta, and got some really great coaching there. Played there for 6 years, and kept kind of developing.
Do they have the same kind of volleyball leagues? It's in the university stuff, and no professional team or things like in France, like they have in the America.
Right. Yeah. No. There's no strictly professional leagues in Canada. It's all connected to university or college. So pretty much if you want to play the highest level in Canada or even America, right now you got to be a student.
Okay. So it's crazy for adults who are no longer in the studies to play volleyball.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So they move to Europe or they go in as other places to play?
Yeah.
Like Australia?
Yeah.
Or,
Like you get 5 years of eligibility, and essentially if you play like 3 or 2 events, like tournaments that uses, even if it's like a preseason tournament in university, it uses a year of eligibility. So
But what do you mean by 5 years of
so pretty much like most degrees take about 4 years to finish, but then if you take the student athlete route, you can extend it to 5 years.
Well, you told us that you played for 6 years, so
Yeah, so I actually injured my knee, like what I was telling you about in the VIP that last time was before I joined the U of A. I played on the junior national team, and then we went to El Salvador and we came second. It was like a really good experience with the guys, and then 4 practices into the U of A, me and my teammate were like, "Hey, let's have a competition who can hit the ball, like bounce the ball higher." And then I just jumped, and immediately I felt something in my knee just kind of pull, and then so yeah, I had to take that year off, and then it was still bugging me the next year. So then I took that pretty much year off too from volleyball. So there was about 2 years where I was kind of like
you weren't practicing at all, or just a bit?
Sort of, but like not really jumping. And
is that the same injury that you had in the beginning of the season on your knee, or it was something else?
Different. Okay. Different. Yes. That one was more patella tendon, and this one before joining in Rennes, it was my quad tendon.
Okay.
So yeah,
not the
bit
same.
of a band-aid.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And how did you deal with it? Like, first, I don't know, like if you play in a high level, like when you were 18, and then just like from one day to another, everything stops. So how did you deal with it? Like, it must be so frustrating, I think, to just have to stop.
Yeah, I was definitely very frustrated, but I was lucky to be in my hometown as well. So I lived with my family, you know, so I was able to see them, and I was also very grateful that the coaching staff was very supportive and not kind of forcing me back, you know, too early and to get more injured again, you know. And then also my teammates were like a lot of fun and also very supporting, so they helped me just stay motivated and pushed me to get back into playing.
But you were in a wheelchair, like a real injury, or
No, not in a wheelchair, but I had I tried to avoid getting surgery on it. So I got like a sclerosing shot, which is essentially they inserted some sort of liquid in between, like I'm not too good on the medical stuff, but it was like underneath my patella tendon, then in between a sack of something. I don't know.
They were putting a liquid or sucking it out?
They tried to put something in that helped promote the healing. And then after that, I got a PRP shot, which is like platelet-rich plasma, which is like they take your blood and put it in a centrifuge, spin it, separate the white blood cells from the red, and then insert that. But then that didn't work, so then I had to get knee surgery, and it was just a fucking long process, you know. And, but yeah, thankfully made it back. But my leg suffered quite a bit of like atrophy. The size was quite a lot smaller. So.
And still now it's smaller than the other one.
Still a little bit, yeah. But the strength now is almost even, I would say.
Okay.
But the size is a little bit smaller. So yeah, I've had quite a few injuries over the years.
Yeah, it sucks.
Unfortunately.
And you still have your finger this year.
Yeah, it's still.
How is it going?
Still attached.
Yeah.
It took a bit of a beating, you know, but yeah, I got a bone avulsion in September, playing in Rennes, and then I had to take about a month and a half off.
Because what happened?
We were just doing some blocking training, and one of the guys, I had my hands a little bit too parallel, I guess, to the net, and a ball just got me around the finger, and then immediately I could just tell something was wrong. So yeah, but nah, it took a bit of a beating this season, but I taped it up and did what I could, and season's over now, so
it's good.
Time to let it just heal, and yeah, exactly.
But sometimes it doesn't it sucks to kind of be alienated to your body, like, you know, sometimes if like your the essence of your work is kind of your body, because you're playing in high level volleyball. So sometimes when your body doesn't follow you, like doesn't it it must be, I don't know, kind of I don't know really how to explain. Do you feel what I?
Yeah, that it's not just your mind; you have your body to take care of. So when you have an issue, a physical issue, you are 100% in it, but you can't because of your body.
Right. Yeah.
That
no.
sucks.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and yeah, even if it's just my finger, the rest of my body is feeling good, but I can't do what I love because my finger, So yes. Sometimes if everything else feels good and there's one thing just physically wrong, it can hold you back. But yeah.
So, do you like France?
Yeah.
Is it cool?
I like France a lot.
Yeah.
Before coming here, I had some preconceived perceptions of what it would be like
about French people or in France in general.
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like most people in Canada, when they think France, they immediately just think like Paris, and like
Fashion Week,
Seal of Love, and
and like football too. People know France is very strong for football.
Okay.
And they think it's the romantic city, which I think it.
Did you go to Paris or to visit in the center and Eiffel Tower and all of it?
Yeah, I went there over Christmas with my parents and my sister. So. It was all the lights were set up, and everything was really, really pretty, But I like France. Living in Brittany too is really cool because I think the one thing I did notice is the mentality of people in France is quite different based on where they live,
For sure.
So yeah, I feel like the people in Brittany are very welcoming and like proud of where they're from, and they want to show you, the coast by Saint Malo. And
did you go to places in Brittany?
Yeah, I went to Mont Saint Michel with my parents.
There is quite of a deal because it's not really in Brittany, but some people from Brittany think that it is from all of them revendics it or.
It's a kind of a clash between Brittany and Normandy,
right?
So everyone's kind of claiming the ownership, the land of the Mont Saint Michel, but like actually in reality it belongs to Normandy.
Are you guys both from Brittany or like originally or
yeah, me kind of. Yeah, I'm from just south of Brittany, but like in the old days, like 200 years ago, it was part of Brittany. Yeah, because I'm from Guérande and Saint-Nazaire and stuff. So now it's in Loire-Atlantique. It's another like region, but before it was in Brittany. So there, also there where I'm from, there's kind of this debate. But Kéo is from La Baule too, so we come from the same place.
Yeah, I came from La Baule.
And so you can.
No, I come from Paris, but the 3 last years I passed in La Baule because I was in, I don't know how to say it, but I was like sailing and it was for the sport, so I was sailing and studying at the same time in La Baule.
Okay. So like studying and playing sport.
Yeah,
at the same
exactly.
time. Okay, cool. For what sport?
Sailing.
Sailing?
Yeah.
Dude, cool.
Yes.
Cool.
He's really good at sailing. You should tell us.
Very, very good.
What your performance is.
I've done a French championship, a French champion, second at the European Championship, and also other things. But
That's sweet. Cool.
Yeah, but he's modest. Yeah.
Humble guy. Oh, that's good.
And I'd like to know how you perceive like French people. Like you told us, like how do they really like see French people in Canada? And after since you live in France, and right now there's some protests going on. I don't know if you've noticed, but because like of the comment dire retraite, the pension reform that Macron engaged.
Yeah.
And so I like to know your feeling about it, and how do you think like maybe French are maybe too much revolutionary people, or?
I don't think Canadians are pretty like easygoing people, you know, and they they kind of just stick to themselves, and
There's a lot of memes about Canadian being nice.
right.
I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah, I
Like
think-
on internet, like American are always making fun of Canadian because they're always too nice. They're like, oh, sorry, always saying
Yeah.
sorry and stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
is it true? Yeah.
there is a bit of a stereotype for
Yeah.
Canadians to be pretty polite, and
Yeah.
someone's open the door, and then they say no, you go, and then they say no, you go, and you spend 5 minutes waiting for someone to go through the door. But yeah, no, usually we're as you said, we're right next to the States, and sometimes we look over at what's happening in the States,
Yeah.
and we're like, holy like shit, what's going on over there. But no, I think Canadians, like French people, part of our culture is French, even though it's mostly only the people in Quebec that really speak French, and there's scattered throughout Canada, people that speak French, but and then with all these protests and stuff, I can tell French people like change, like going back to the French Revolution, like when they want change, they make it known. That's kind of what I meant by that.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard to watch on the news and stuff.
In Canada, you think people will go in the streets to protest?
That's a good question. I think obviously, depending what it was, I could see that happening. It seems like people. I don't know.
Because
it's hard to say.
There were the truckers in Canada like 1 or 2 years ago because they were like storming to Ottawa, I guess. That's because of COVID or something like this. No.
What was that about?
Something happened. I remember not so long ago, maybe 1 year ago.
Oh man,
because they weren't happy with Justin Trudeau saying I don't know what. All the people who drive trucks in Canada, they were all going into Ottawa and like they were standing.
Yeah, no, I remember that because there's highways just flooded with trucks and in my city even there like people just in their cars like. But no, I think usually Canadians tend to be a little bit more Canadian about things. Just like we'll clog up the roads with our trucks, but we're not gonna go like set like the city on fire.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean.
Do you think it's crazy what's happening in Rennes Center when you have the police officer just throwing a lacrimogene on the?
Yeah, bro,
the guys.
It's crazy to see, and I've seen some of that kind of stuff in America, when Donald Trump was in presidency,
Capitol when they went up there,
and you see like just tear grenades getting thrown and like rubber bullets, and you're just like, man,
wow,
that's shit.
Yeah, that's weird.
But yeah, no, the stuff in Rennes too, I think I saw a video of like a water turret or something spraying people, and I was like,
there were like kind of a truck. No, not a truck, but like like in the fields, like to what's the engine called? Like to when you in the fields. So do you just like a truck, big truck?
Yeah, combine harvester is what I'm thinking about.
Oh yeah, but a more basic. A
tractor.
Yeah, a tractor, exactly.
Tractor.
Okay. So there were a tractor like coming on a big police truck.
So the guy went in his tractor in the middle of the city. he let the tractor go on itself. So I don't know how we managed to make it move on itself.
Yeah.
And you had the truck going very slowly towards the police officer, and they had to go in it and stop the engine, and it was just going right through them.
Wish. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Yeah. I think obviously other people are upset about. I know about the pension thing, the 62 to 64 thing, but I don't know. Was that the rule that was passed that everyone's angry about? Or was it, yeah. I mean, you got to change something, but
I have the video right here. It's
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what?
They were. You can see like the tractor coming on the police, and it's in Rennes. I don't know if you recognize it, but it's at République.
It's right by Republic.
Yeah.
Outside Foot Locker, it looks like. Jeez.
Yeah, that's a bit funny.
Wow.
Just about Ottawa, the truck drivers. I just saw it was about the vaccine.
Yeah.
COVID vaccine.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, because they didn't want
they
to
didn't want
get vaccinated.
To get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And they had to be vaccinated to be able to work.
I'm not sure, but yeah,
Maybe cross the
maybe,
border or things like that.
Like to go to the restaurant or
Yeah.
Same in France, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, same.
Because Canada had a really strong policy on COVID, no?
Yeah.
Because you couldn't even go to Canada if you weren't vaccinated, or you couldn't even leave the country. Could you?
Yeah,
no?
you couldn't. You couldn't leave the country for sure. You couldn't. I don't think you could get in without a vaccine, or you had to have proof of
Vaccine. Yeah,
a
we had that
negative
in
test
France.
and stuff.
Where were you when that happened? Were you playing in another country or in Canada?
Yeah, so I kind of luckily got, like, I was in Austria during this time in 2020, I think was when this all started happening.
Yeah.
You were playing volleyball there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I left in August of 2020, and then pretty much I think it was in October of 2020 is kind of when everything started to like shut down.
You left Canada in August of 2020?
Yeah, left Canada to go to Austria, and then when I was in Austria, it was kind of like prime time COVID. You know, everything shut.
So you went there for nothing. You didn't play or train or anything.
But thankfully, the season still went on. We just we started with spectators, but we ended up having no spectators.
You still had games all weeks, every week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no games were canceled, thankfully. We just had to have tests before each match showing we're negative. But it was a weird environment, you know, because like there's no fans. It almost just feels like
it feels like training.
A training match.
You were playing in the pro league in Austria,
the
top number one league.
Yeah, top league in Austria. Cool. Yeah, it was fun.
It was a big club. Or
it was quite a small club, you know. The town maybe had 12,000 people.
Oh, so it's a small town.
Yeah,
like Saint-Jean-d'Iliac to compare with the French.
Right.
Saint-Jean-d'Iliac.
Yeah.
Where is Saint-Jean-d'Iliac?
Saint-Jean-d'Iliac is at the west of Bordeaux, and it's a second division.
It's a volleyball club.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has like 15,000 people living over there. It's a really small town.
They're a good team, though.
Yeah.
Good team, yeah.
Okay. That's funny.
Yeah, and then in Austria too, there's a football team. It was pretty much the most popular sport, but also the volleyball was very popular, and there was lots of fans. You could tell wish they could attend the games and stuff. You know, some hardcore fans, but didn't really get to see them too much. You know,
they like beach volleyball in Austria.
Yes, beach volleyball's huge.
It's a sport. Maybe not the sport, because I think that football is even bigger. But
football, they love like their skiing and stuff too.
Yeah, skiing. Yeah.
But beach volleyball,
there's a big scene of beach volleyball. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, because I've been there and like I saw it was during the summer, and like there were like so many fields of like beach volleyball, and like only with sand and stuff. I was that's weird, because it's not even a country near the like a coast. Right. You know, it's Austria. It's like it's in between kind of mountains, or I don't know. I thought it was funny to have that there is a lot of people like enjoying playing beach volley.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, you wouldn't really expect it, but even Germany is the same. I think they're crazy over beach volleyball.
I like it.
I think it's just more of a growing sport in terms of popularity in all of Europe and the world, really. Yeah, it's cool.
You've played a bit of beach volley?
I played a little bit, but it's more just like for fun with the guys. There are some girls, you know, and just grab some drinks and just get some sun, you know.
Yeah, okay,
yeah. Before winter comes and we all look like vampires because we're so wet. You know? Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
And you learned German there or no?
No.
Like you didn't learn French either.
Yeah.
Well, I learned more French, and I think the French came a little more easy just because I indirectly see it on signs and stuff in Canada too. You know, because there's the English and then the French underneath.
Okay.
So.
And the whole country.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, didn't know that.
Because it's mandatory. There's 2 official languages, I guess, in Canada.
Exactly.
So in everything, it's mandatory to have French and English.
Yeah. Even for example, this candy here would have English and French in Canada.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
I remember in Canada, you have also like the Tim Horton. You know, like this is the big. I remember when I was living in Montreal and in Quebec, I was like always enjoying to go to the Tim Horton.
Right.
Like it's kind of a. I don't know if you know it, Kéo or Peter. It's kind of a. Like you can go and grab a coffee and have a donut, for example. It's I don't know. it's the reference in Canada. Like there's like everywhere Tim Hortons.
Starbucks.
Yeah,
Well,
kind of.
like
Yeah,
Starbucks.
That's
Yeah, Starbucks.
So yeah, I remember
Sorry,
because
Starbucks.
it's really because I went in Andorra to ski like one month ago, and they were at Tim Hortons there,
Yeah.
and I was like, whoa. I remembered. Whoa, that's funny
You
because
had a flashback. To
yeah,
Canada.
because in France they're none.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, if you guys ever go or you go again, you gotta get an ice cap. It's my
Ice cap.
favorite thing. It's pretty much just like a coffee, but it's like kind of a slushy texture, with crushed ice and.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. That's good.
I'm dreaming about having
Looks
one
like
when I
you're
go
missing
back
it,
home,
yeah.
yeah. Seriously.
Is that expensive like a Starbucks?
No, it's not as expensive. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Starbucks is pretty overpriced. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Starbucks. Yeah, you
Okay.
just go over there, get robbed, and have a coffee. Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
After Austria, you told me that you went in Czech Republic as well to play volleyball again, like
Yeah.
just to play, yeah. But how did you manage to find all of those clubs? Like you did this by yourself and just sending kind of like emails or?
That's a good question.
Telling
No,
them,
I have an agent that works for me.
Yeah.
He's actually a French guy.
Yeah.
Samika is his last name.
But he was there
Last week.
at the VAP.
Yeah,
yeah.
you guys probably saw him.
Okay.
He came to the match against Cannes.
But he contacted you, or
So I knew a guy that played at the University of, or I still know a guy that played at the University of Calgary as a setter, and he went to go play pro, and he's a year older than me, and then he pretty much, I have a good connection with him, and then he works with Samika, and then he said, "Hey Samika, this George guy, I think he's a good guy, a good player, he'd be a good person for you to have on your list, And so Samika pretty much just asked me for video and then some highlights, and then he has a website, and then he pretty much connects and reaches out to teams, and
okay.
yeah. And
Okay.
Ethan Garrett on our team is also with Samika, so
He's Australian.
yeah, Australian, and he was my roommate this year, so it worked out. It worked out well. Yeah.
It's two people speaking in English.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, his accent is funny though.
Yeah, but for me, like, who's not like I didn't grow up like speaking in English necessarily, but for
Yeah.
me, like the Australian and the English accent is kind of like the same,
Like the British,
yeah.
the British accent. Yeah,
compared to like
Not
the
at
Canadian
all.
or like American accent,
I don't know
Yeah.
about the Canadian accent, but Australian accent is really, really.
It's even stronger than
Yeah,
the,
it's
the
really
British
strong.
one. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, but I should hear him talk then.
Yeah, when you hear Ethan talk, it's.
Wow, it's complicated to hear him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because-
I lived in Australia for a bit
Uh-huh.
when I was young, and when I came back to France, I had a very strong accent as well
Yeah.
from living over there.
But speaking in English or in French?
In English.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because it's what is it? It's more rough, and like, they always say, "Oh, mate," and stuff, or
Yeah.
it's more the British guys.
Really, in England, there's so many different kind of accents, as you probably know. Like someone from the south sounds very different from someone like northern, kind of, from Newcastle or something. But yeah, in Australia, they sound just like, I don't even know how to describe
Yeah.
it, man. It's just
And New
Like,
Zealand, is it the same?
wild.
I
as
don't
well as
know
that?
if you know about the. I found something.
And the accent in New Zealand it's kind of the same as the Australia, or it's even different.
it's similar, but it's a little more. It's hard to describe. It's
I feel like
Could you like could you talk with the New Zealand accent?
I've tried. Well, it's
Yeah.
kind of funny story because like I had a teammate on my university team from New Zealand. He's Billy Johnstone, and I would kind of pretend to speak
Oh yeah,
New Zealand to him, but I end up kind of just sounding like I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna try and do it. But, it's a little bit different. I feel like like people from Samoa, like
Samoa
a
Islands?
small island.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they just sounded a little more island like, and
Ireland,
like island like.
Ireland or island?
Ireland.
Like Islanders, like they sound more like Islanders, like more I don't know. Yeah.
What is Islanders? I don't know.
Yeah. Just like they're from the Samoan Islands. Like
Samoa. Okay.
Yeah.
So island, an island.
Yeah, no,
Okay. Because I thought it was Ireland.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
country.
No, I did a bad job of pronouncing that, but
Okay.
not Ireland, Islanders, but like Islanders.
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
But yeah, you'd have to check it out. They sound a little bit different.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But I like your accent, Peter, because you sound British, but yeah, you also
French.
sound a little bit French, obviously, but also New Zealandish as well. I hear
it's
it.
possible. I lived as well in New Zealand
Yeah. No, I can
when I
hear
was
it.
a child. So I have French and it's not like I have just one mother language. Don't know if you could call it like that in.
Yeah, like
in
native
English.
language. Yeah.
I spoke
Spoke. Yeah.
first English then French.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And now French is more
natural.
easy, more natural. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if it's more natural, but I'll speak naturally with my dad in English.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking of what I'm going to tell, or it's really
okay.
fluid. But my French is I have more vocabulary on.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
But Peter, I was shocked because he told me like maybe 2 weeks ago
That's crazy.
that his father is from England and
okay.
he's been living in France for like 25 years or
over
plus.
25 years.
And he doesn't know how to speak French.
Right.
And I think that's super funny because I mean it sounds
So don't feel bad now speaking French.
Right. Yeah,
in
but-
France.
Okay.
Yeah, my father is.
yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. For you, it's kind of normal, but for me, it's really shocking because
Yeah.
like when you live for 25 years in a country, no matter the country, I guess that you at the
speaks-
end you end up speaking
he
the language.
speaks French when he needs to, but
Yeah, but
not necessarily. He's trying.
He understands
He'll see
everything?
if his the guy he's talking with, he'll start to talk English, and if the guy speaks English, they'll just talk English.
Oh,
but
okay. Yeah.
But that's funny because I don't know for you, but like for me in my head, like when you try and talk to English to a French guy, he's gonna be like ah. But if you start in French and then you go back in English because you don't know how to speak, it may be like he'll be more inclined to talk to you, you know?
Yeah.
Because if your dad always goes and talk in English, people might be
I don't know how to say. When he goes to meet someone, he'll start to speak a bit French.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Do you speak English?" or something like that. And they just speak in English.
Yeah.
What do you think about it, George? Like for example, just speaking in English with French people, are they like trying to speak English all the time, or sometimes they're like?
Some people are really bad.
Yeah, so I've had some interesting conversations with people about this topic because they like I can't remember who was it that was telling me, but a lot of French people are like nervous to speak English or anxious because
a lot of the time.
they maybe don't feel like their English is so good, or they don't want to be judged by other people for speaking bad English, you know. So they're a little bit hesitant. But even like the guys on our team, my team, at the start of the year, some of them were pretty hesitant, and you could see the wheels turning in their head. They were thinking of what to say, but now it's like everyone's pretty smooth.
The thing is, when I was in it's called college in France, but it's I think sixth grade middle school.
Okay.
When you go to middle school and you're in English class, if you try to have an accent, people will make fun of you.
Yeah, they'll be like, you're pretending.
I spoke my whole middle school with a French accent.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to, because they were just having fun of it.
Yeah,
I think that's bad.
It's a weird thing about France, I guess, because if you try and go and speak like kind of good English, people will be like, stop pretending you're an American and just talk like us, you know.
It's one of those. I feel like it's like a stupid thing like kids do when they're young, eventually it kind of holds them back in the future, you know, from learning English.
Yeah, that's true.
But I've noticed when I do try and speak French, like French people do appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I tried to learn some, and you know, say ça va.
Yeah.
Wish.
Say ça va a lot, and wish.
And when you go in a store and you just talk in English naturally? Or?
No, well, I've learned the
basics?
pretty much what they say, you know, bonne journée.
Yeah.
They say you want a ticket. I say non, merci.
Okay.
And then after, au revoir, bonne journée, merci beaucoup.
That's it.
You can go and buy your baguette and your newspaper.
Yeah,
Oui, baguettes.
exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
the baguette. Yeah, that's crucial. To
Do you
get
like
in
the
France.
bread here in France?
Yeah, I've honestly noticed it's
really
the
good.
quality is quite
Yeah.
high. You know,
Yeah.
It's really good.
people here take their baguettes seriously. You know?
Oh, obviously, and I think you realize that when you go out of France and you just go in a normal boulangerie or
You
like
can't find bread.
yeah,
in
it's
France.
honestly and you come from England too, and your dad too. I mean, like in the UK, I've talked to this summer. I talked to an English girl, and she told me like when you go in a supermarket there, it's not the same as in France
It's
because
just sliced bread in
yeah,
bags
and nothing's good, and like
Yeah,
yeah,
it's-
and not even the bread, like everything, the whole food, and like how the supermarkets in order or like what you're selling there. She told me that in France, it's wow. She was amazed because you have like so much thing, and like there's I don't know. She told me that it was super great, like the supermarkets in France. She was
Yeah.
like kind of shocked by it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you feel the same because in Canada as well. Like, I mean, the gastronomy, like how you eat. I don't know if it's the same. It's as good or as in France.
Yeah, I think genuinely generally the food. Sorry, my English has also gotten a little bit weaker since I came to France. You know, generally the food in France, I think the quality is pretty high. You know, even in restaurants and stuff, it's pretty impressive. But also with that, the cost is also quite high that I've noticed, especially. Well, like when I lived in Czech last year, everything was quite cheap, you know. But in terms of grocery store quality, I think in Canada everything. This is maybe a bit of a North American thing, but everything's just bigger. You know? Like, even if you just want to get some ketchup, you got to buy the big ketchup. You can't just buy like the little ketchup, you know. But yeah, and then I think they just take more pride in their bakery products in France, you know, the bread, the pastries, the yummy stuff, you know.
It's a French thing, yeah.
I don't know if you feel like that, Mâhine, but when someone tells you he's a baker, I think it's like it's a job that's very
it's serious job?
valorized.
In France?
He's like, I'm a baker, and you're not just okay. It's wow. It's,
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
because,
it's
you're like,
really
oh,
cool. Yeah,
yeah.
for real. We just have a problem with the camera.
Oh no.
I don't know since when.
You can go out and talk.
Ça fait un petit moment que j'ai vu qu'elle était comme ça, mais moi je pensais qu'elle continuait de tourner.
Bah non, il y a l'objectif qui est fermé.
J'ai pas vu l'objectif.
Parce que c'est parti en jeu d'une demi-heure.
Et ça record. Bon, c'est pas très grave.
Bon, en tout
Yeah,
cas,
we won't have the bakery stuff on the YouTube.
ouais, ça fait 40 minutes.
Shit, that was the
Every 30 minutes we have to
big point of the interview.
set the camera. We have to like do it again. So yeah.
It's been 40 minutes since we started the recording.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So we
Very
have.
good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
So we missed out the stuff on the bakery, hey?
Yeah. No.
Let's make it good again. Let's make it again. So I really like my bread. Yeah.
Oh, man. Pain de chocolat, incredible.
Have you been? Where have you been in France?
Mostly just traveling around with the volleyball.
But can you visit? Or like it's only like a day you play and then you go back and you're in?
You maybe have a couple hours to walk kind of near your hotel, you know, in between with some downtime in between training and the match, but it's not really like a 2-day holiday, you know. You're there kind of focused for the volleyball. But some places that we did go to that I really enjoyed was like Avignon. You know,
it's a
our
nice
hotel was
The bridge?
It's a very
You've
nice
seen
city.
the bridge?
The walkout.
Le Pont d'Avignon?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah, and I wanted to go walk on it, but they were charging like €5. And
Oh yeah?
For real?
Yeah.
You gotta pay.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I looked on the
that's
Google,
funny.
you know, of what to do, and this bridge was there. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
Pont d'Avignon, it's
you
famous
know.
in
Yeah, you have a famous
France.
sound.
Yeah, sur le pont d'Avignon,
Yeah.
on y danse. It's a song.
Yeah, my dad actually said he knows that song.
Oh, yeah?
'Cause
Really?
When he was younger, yeah, they learned that or something.
Oh, that's funny.
So So I was a little bit disappointed I didn't get to check that out, but
Damn it.
I saw like the whole wall around the city, and I was like, damn, this place is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
you know?
Pretty city.
And so you told me that you were going back in Canada in at the end of April.
Yeah.
So you have like maybe a month to visit France, or maybe you're going somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah. So I go back on. I go to the UK actually for a week before I go back to Canada just to see my family and my grandma. You know, she's getting a little bit older now,
That's
so. But yeah, with this 3 weeks, I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet, but I think I'm gonna get a little bit bored if I just stick around Rennes doing nothing but playing Fortnite, you know. So, so I think I'm gonna try and do some kind of trip, you know. But
you should go and see Peter.
Where do you live?
I live in Morbihan.
Okay,
It's in Brittany.
Oh, okay.
Brittany.
Hey man, I mean, I'm not doing much, so you know, just let me know.
Yeah, because there's a lot of places in France that are cool.
That's such a good point. Like, yeah, I think even just traveling around, I've seen the drastic changes of landscape even in France.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy, I think we were in Fréjus or Fréjus.
Fréjus? Yeah.
And I was like, I thought it looked like we were in Mexico or something to me with the palm trees and like the beach.
Yeah.
And I was like,
because it's so high and just,
damn, you know, and I didn't realize how big France was too before I came here, you know.
But I mean, Canada's bigger, but yeah.
Yeah, Canada's bigger, obviously, but like,
but maybe it's more flat and just in Canada. It depends where.
In Canada, there's a lot of just like meh.
Yeah.
In some places, you know, especially like the middle parts in Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan, it's only flat and only like fields and
grass, you know, and cows and stuff. But yeah, no, I think France is really cool, and I kind of understand why a lot of French people maybe don't go to America or go vacation places, because really in France and
they can do pretty much everything.
You got like pretty much everything you want. You know?
Yeah, it's cool. I remember when I was a kid living in Canada, in Montreal, people were making fun of me because they were telling me my country was so small.
Right.
Like they were saying, "Oh, in France, it's such a small country." And I was like, "No, because you're telling me that you're telling us that it's a big country." So
I think people think Europe is always just super small, but then France is one of those countries. I think you're just kind of surprised by, like, I don't know. I guess I needed to look at a map more often, but like when I think it's maybe because of my upbringing in the UK. I always kind of thought UK, and I kind of knew how big it was, and then I saw it compared to France, and I was like, damn, like France is massive, you know. Not massive, but you know,
they're about
bigger.
the same size as UK, and maybe France is more large, but
right. I guess height they're about the same, but like width, you know, France is pretty wide.
It's big.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like your grandma, she lives in Canada as well.
Mm-mm.
No, she lives in the UK. It's only your parents and maybe your sister are living in Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
But why did they leave the UK?
Yeah, so I think my dad had an opportunity to leave with a work opportunity, and he kind of saw how England was progressing in terms of the youth and kind of like our area, like in South London. It's okay area, but also like there's quite a lot of bad things going on, like you know, lots of graffiti and drugs and like stuff, and the amount of stabbings lately is like it's crazy, you know. So they kind of just wanted to get an escape, and I think Canada was a good place to bring our family. Yeah.
Because it's related. There's still the monarchy, the British monarchy ruling, like kind of like not really ruling, but Canada, like on the dollar bills, there's the Queen.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Commonwealth, I think is what it's called. Is England England is the head of that, and we got Canada,
Australia as well, New Zealand. South Africa,
maybe South Africa, and then some other African countries, which like has a long history, kind of tied to you know slavery and stuff. Which Canada, it's part of the Commonwealth, and
But they don't like feel that close to the Queen that as the Brits.
No, bro, it's quite a big disconnect. Like, as especially when the Queen died recently, man. Like, me and my family were pretty like upset, you know, because like
that's funny.
You know, they grew up with the Queen, and she's been a part of like our lives for forever. And then a lot of people in Canada were just like not
having it.
They were just kind of like, oh, like finally, or like making memes and just
that's true.
Just not caring about it.
Yeah,
just
people don't care.
Just making fun of it and like.
But that's a real British thing to like the monarchy and like the Queen and. But that's funny because for us, for me, I don't know, but like that sounds like when I see it, it seems a bit weird. Like not weird, but like okay. Hey, Shabbat, do you know what I mean or no?
No.
Like when you know when the Queen died, a lot of people were like, "Oh no, wow!" But in France,
like even in France,
like compared to France,
you go on Instagram, the day where the Queen died. You have all my friends, all the people I follow posting the death of the Queen.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're French, you don't give a damn about it. It's crazy.
Like if Macron, the French president, he dies. Like today, people will be happy because they don't like him, but
the Queen was
they won't be as much impacted by it as the Brits, I guess.
Yeah, I think they're just two completely different things, though. To be honest, man, because the Queen has been ruling since she was forever. You know, like, and she's been she's
forever.
She's People thought she was never gonna die.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact she did die is like
it's a big memes is a big thing in France, and you have when you have to talk about something who's never gonna end, you talk about
the Queen,
right?
Yeah, you talk about the Queen.
Yeah, and also when I went back to the UK last summer, there was the Platinum Jubilee.
Yeah. What is it then? The Jubilee, I heard about it. But
so it was just a celebration of her. What was it? I think it's 70th year or something like
as a Queen.
70th year of ruling, you know, and it's just like, or maybe it was 80. I don't know. I think it was 70. But yeah, 70th year as the Queen, you know, and the streets are just flooded with people.
Yeah, there were a lot of people.
A lot of Union Jacks and the biggest British artists all came and performed, you know. So. Yeah, it's quite an interesting subject because some people in the UK don't care, but a lot of people like they really like feel like the royal family is a part of their family, you know.
Yeah,
because they've grown up with it and stuff. So yeah, it's cool.
But yesterday I've read an article about the Spanish monarchy because it was restored in 1975 because before it was a dictator, Franco, who was ruling Spain from like the Second World War, I guess, to like 1970, so for a long time.
Okay.
And then the monarchy came back, and so they were the king. He's still alive now, but he passed it on to his son because he had some corruption problem and stuff. Okay. But in Spain, they don't. I like only like 30% of the population they kind of care or they agree with the monarchy. Like they don't feel as close to the king and to the royalty as the British, and that's
right.
Maybe because it's more recent. Like it came only in 1975, but I feel like it's really special. I guess in Great Britain.
There is so much corruption on the monarchy in Spain.
Yeah, in Spain, it's a big thing. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he got some like Saudi friends from Saudi Arabia, and they gave him a lot of money to just but
yeah, I feel like unfortunately there's always a lot of corruption at the highest levels, you know. So
we were one of the motivation or like source of inspiration to start this podcast was us talking about like the three of us. We were talking about like how
much the system is
corrupted, and how we're living kind of in the matrix, you know, like
bro.
It's we're too deep in it, and like the people at the top, they're just like ruling friends. They're all friends with each other, so they all wanna stay in the top and just
No, it's true, man.
It's a real debate.
I think I was talking to frick, I can't remember who it was. I was talking to someone today, and they said things are getting more expensive, but like people aren't getting like paid more. You know, so it's creating more of a divide between like the top and the bottom. You know, so yeah. I think that's why people are kind of losing their marbles a bit more these days than stuff. But yeah, it's
you feel like the very powerful man's like we have what's the name of the LVMH?
Bernard Arnault.
Bernard Arnault.
right.
You know,
he's the richest man in the world.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
isn't he? Yeah.
Really, in the world?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, maybe first, second. Yeah, first.
Yeah, like these guys, what you hear about them is that just have massive amount of money, massive amount of power, and that don't they always find ways to keep their money in and don't pay. And I think what population feels like it's they could take the money of the rich people to like the pension thing in France, and they needed money that just take it on these rich people who
that's a French thing, I guess, to like to tax the rich. I mean, no, but to be kind of angry against the rich.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
when you just keep all money for you and they don't really are able to pass the rules and things like that.
I don't know if you've seen on Twitter the girl who's dancing on like techno music and saying like tax sont les riches, like tax the rich. You've not seen it? No. It's super funny. Like
I've seen it. MC danse pour le climat.
Yeah. She's dancing like for the climate and for as well for like the pension reform. And so she's in the streets of Paris, I guess, and she's like dancing and she's like tax sont les riches, and like she became famous on Twitter. You've not seen it? No.
It was a bit like a controversy about her.
Yeah.
Even in the guy who were protesting, some of them don't really like her.
Yeah.
You guys been watching Andrew Tate or stuff like that?
Kind of a bit, but like kind of a bit. But you know, there's kind of like an omerta on him. You know, omerta in French. Like it's a Sicilian thing from the mafia. So omerta, it's when like no one talks.
Oh, okay.
You know, so if someone gets caught, no one talks. And so I feel like with Andrew Tate, there's kind of this thing like no one's going to talk about him because he said something, so we don't want to upset the women, or like, you know, like the girl say, I
think he has some points, but it's bad on most of what he says, but...
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I think he's a very smart guy, you know, and I don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of the stuff he does say is quite accurate in terms of the control and like talking about like escaping the matrix and stuff like that. Because obviously, I don't think anyone really wants to just be in the matrix, you know, and do a 9 to 5 and just go through their life like. Without some sort of purpose, I guess you could say, and I don't know. I think even people that maybe do that aren't, you know, like they have like a family or like there's something there. There's a why there, right? There's a reason they're doing what they're doing. You know, it's I don't know. Not everyone comes from the same kind of social economic status, you know, and so it's like maybe someone from a third world country comes to France or something, and they want to build up their money and their family and everything, so and to escape, you know, maybe the corruption that's there in their country. So I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting topic for sure. You know.
Yeah, we could talk about it for hours.
Yeah.
And once I was talking with my girlfriend, and she's kind of like pure sometimes, you know, like she's she doesn't really believe that maybe people can have like some bad intentions. And so I was telling her, like, for example, like we were talking about all the billionaires who have like the newspapers, like you know, they in France and like kind of like in all country, like if you go, for example, here in France, like Canal Plus, CNews and stuff, it's controlled by someone called Bolloré. And so, for example, I was telling her, like, for example, if I'm rich and I buy a media, like it's kind of obvious that I'm gonna tell by one way or another to the to the director, artistical director of this media, to not really talk bad about me because I'm the owner of it. So that's kind of normal. I mean, it's I don't mind.
They're losing money with the media.
What?
Obviously.
Oh yeah. But by putting money, they're losing, but they're gaining in
influence.
Exactly. They're gaining influence.
Exactly.
Yeah, and when you see in media and like for example on I don't know that you've seen this because it's a French thing, but tu sais quand Louis Boyard, so it's a guy who was on a French TV show, kind of like controversial, called Touche pas à mon poste. He's not a journalist, so he says what he thinks, and that's not really like objective, you know. And so he invited someone called Louis Boyard, who previously, like 1 or 2 years before, he was part of this show, but now he's a French deputy. Okay. So he's working okay. And so he came back and he started calling out like all the actions of Bolloré, so the owner of the TV channel. And so the Cyril Hanouna, the presenter of the TV show, he was like, oh no, shut up, don't talk, because he was kind of afraid that the billionaires who are going like might go and tell him like, what are you doing and stuff. Right. So he was like shushing on live TV because he was talking about him, you know.
Right.
He was telling all the bad stuff he was doing in Africa, and he was like, no, don't talk. And he was like insulting him and saying ta gueule and like shut the fuck up, you know. Because he was kind of scared, and you know, and when you see this, it's.
You can't talk about the boss.
Yeah. He was like, no, don't talk about him.
On his own TV show.
Yeah. There was honestly, and when you saw this in France and on the French TV, you're like, whoa, that's really shows the power that like billionaire can have on regular thing that you look on TV. Yeah. And so when you think about it, you're like, they might kind of like control like the media by one way or another. They can like make people don't look of like all the bad things that they do and just like focus on something else, you know. And so it's I found it really revolting. I don't know, because
TPMP, the Touche pas mon poste, the program, it's I think the biggest program in France.
Yeah, maybe.
And so people go and watch this program, and I think, because I really think that is a crap show. You can't take anything good of it.
Right.
It's just crap things all over the place, and it's really big. And I think that if media wanted to, I don't know, like how could I say, inculquer or apprendre good things to people.
Make them learn, kind of.
I don't know. Yeah, it's they just want people to watch it, not think much.
To binge watch.
Yeah, binge watch, and just don't think much about what's happening, or
to not really think, you know, just give them some poor quality content and just.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of news stations or things like this are it's you very rarely get the truth, you know. Exactly. It's their version of the truth. Yeah. Exactly. You know, they want you to see this perspective, you know, and they paint the picture for you, and maybe it's not the truth, but that's what they want you to believe. And usually it's controlled by some powerful
some
guy, and they have an agenda, and exactly. So
but that's funny, because with whoever I talk about this, like, everyone kind of agrees. They always say, yeah, that's true. But I think that in the population, everyone knows it, but no one kind of like does something about it, or just. Right. I mean, there's kind of everyone's. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think like, I'm not the smartest person on talking about all these things, but I think we're in an interesting like phase right now, especially with like us, like our younger generation, like having all these resources available to us, you know, like and different information at the tip of our fingers, you know, like. Yeah. For example, like our parents, like the older generation, are still kind of maybe stuck in like they watch the news and everything they see on the news.
TV's good,
you know. So I think only as of recently, and I think social media has something to do with it. But people are just like starting to catch on to all these like things, and change is just happening. You know.
I think our generation, like, how old are you? Like 26
26
to our age. we grew up with social media like at the age of 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
Before TikTok, and
Yeah.
I think the younger generations, like the like 13 years old or 16, they just spend their time on TikTok.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
crazy. Even
Yeah.
my friends or friends of mine stays hours on TikTok. I used to stay hours and just scroll, even on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's crap content. You don't feel like it's crap content because you feel, I'm interested in that. It's interesting that like guy building his house or things like that. And just, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Good job, man. And you just feel like you're having a good time, or something is adding something to you, like I don't know, pleasure or feel smart, or I don't know, and just spend all your time. Like it's not on a day you say, oh, I passed 2 hours on it. It's not a big deal. I could do it the other day. But if you have projects, I think you have to get that time to build them, and over weeks it's not just hours, it's days, and you really can make things, build things.
Yeah.
And not waste time.
Yeah.
But that's cool because all the three of us, we don't have TikTok. I don't,
Yeah,
because Kéo, he never had. You know, you
I
have.
never had it.
You never had TikTok. And
Okay.
I uninstalled it.
Yeah, we both uninstalled Instagram after
And Instagram
conversations we
as
had.
well.
And Instagram.
Yeah, because we talked.
We
it
had
was
a talk, and
no,
we just
Instagram
said,
is not good, so we
man,
just
just-
stopped. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We still have Instagram, but on our laptops, or you
Right,
go on Safari to,
Not so
to search for
accessible.
it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
have all this
Yeah.
reels crap thing.
Yeah,
all over the
That's a
place.
big thing because I think we can lose like 2 hours, 3 hours. A
Yeah,
day.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
real.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
Shit.
Yeah, and I've seen like I've asked some of my friends like, yo, just let me just see your screen time, you know, and like some of these, it's like 14, 15 hours of
A
screen
day.
time a day,
Oh wow, that's wow.
and I'm just like, bro, like
Yeah.
you're sleeping for 8 hours, and then
that's it.
The rest of the time.
and the rest of the time you're on your phone. It's like, man,
And I think my
it's
my
crazy.
screen time is really going down
Oh, yeah.
for having uninstalled Instagram and TikTok. I really think it helped.
That'd be true.
Yeah.
But and also you were talking about like the differences between the generation, and like for example, I see me myself. I have like 7 years difference with my my younger cousin.
Okay.
So she's like I'm 19, so she's like kind of 12,
Okay.
and so I see that even though it's only 7 years, there's a big difference in social media. Like she entered middle school, so she was in sixième, like kind of like 10 years old, and she wanted a phone. And she was like asking her mom for a phone, and I was like, I mean, that's a bit weird. That's a bit odd,
Right.
you know, because I had a phone in troisième, so like at the end of middle school, like
Okay.
really before entering high school. And at first I only had like like a flip phone, just a
Yeah.
Nokia, and just to call.
Yeah.
And I think that like younger and younger people now they have like just regular phones, and they can go on like for hours on social media. And I don't know if it really affects the brain or something, but I mean, you may be not less intelligent, but like it induces something. I think, and after I'm not a doctor, so I don't know, but
I don't know how you feel about having uninstalled Instagram, but I feel like social media is less interesting now.
yeah,
I'm just I grab my phone. I don't know what to do with it because I was going straight on Instagram or TikTok or anything, and I go on Instagram and I just find it boring, or not boring, but nothing really matters about it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
kind of odd.
Yeah. I
sure.
I wasn't a TikTok person. Like I held off from getting it for a while, and I eventually caved. And I wouldn't say it's my most used app. You know, I go on there sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and I do find it very valuable actually, because I really enjoy like music and playing like music for my friends and stuff. So I find a lot of good music on there.
Oh, but Kéo is a really good beat maker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of it.
Okay.
That's
nice.
very good. I like doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, you're good.
That's dope. But yeah, and then I think with Instagram, you know, like when you are on it all the time, even myself, I just like catch myself having maybe 10 seconds of doing nothing, and I just want to pull up my phone and
Yeah.
like occupy that time, and then
Really?
I like catch myself. I'm like, what am I doing, man?
Mm.
You know?
For real.
I mean, every time this happens, I just like kind of like I'm thinking like back in the day, like 25 years ago, how did people manage those type of situations? Like just waiting here, I was like, wow, like just be calm and like just act like you were like in 1990 and that's it. Yeah. I'm gonna go.
C'est super dur de poser le téléphone là.
Yeah.
Ah, mais de fou, hein. Really hard.
Really how to drop the phone.
Yeah, and honestly, that's funny you mentioned that because even nowadays when I take the bus or something, I see everyone's just on their phone, but then I'll see I'll see an old person and they're just like
standing
sitting
here
there, and I'm like,
reading a book or
that's what it used to be
OG,
like.
OG, yeah, exactly.
OG,
Yeah. But after sometimes also I'm telling myself like maybe we're just like reacting because like like I think of my grandparents when I was watching TV when I was young. They were like, stop watching TV. When I was younger, I was playing in the fields. And now I think that I'm a normal guy. I'm not a kind of a... So maybe it's just us because we didn't grow up with this. And so we feel that it's weird, like, having children having phones. But maybe it's just kind of part of, like, kind of the evolution. I don't know. But, yeah. But,
Did you grow up in the field, Mâhine?
no,
For real, I grew up in the field. I spent my time in forest and fields, making some, just playing with sticks and that stuff.
kind of.
For real, building stuff and just having fun.
Yeah, I was watching TV, but
really,
at the same time playing outside.
I really had a massive part of my time outside with my brother, my sister, my cousins. We were spending all the time outside.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the younger generation is like that or not.
As much.
Yeah, I think it depends, I think, on their parents too, because for example, like I love video games, and I remember being like 14 or like 12 to 14, is when Modern Warfare 2 just came out, and I just spend like hours playing it, but at the same time I loved going outside on my bike, riding my longboard, stuff like that. But I don't know. I hope kids still have fun,
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah,
because
things
for
are just
example,
changing. I think I don't know.
What?
I just said things are changing, and
Yeah.
it's who knows where things are gonna go.
Yeah. And I'd like to know at what age did you have your first phone, like mobile phone?
First,
or,
like a smartphone kind of thing, or just like
not even
anyone.
Maybe in like just a regular.
Yeah, I think
button
I was in grade 8, so I would have been
So it's kind of
13 or
like
14.
13? Okay, yeah.
No, younger, like 12.
Okay, yeah.
But it was one of the like ones that was like a phone, but then it slides and you got the keyboard like that,
A
Just
Blueberry?
text, phone, your
Yeah,
parents.
Is it the
exactly.
Blueberry phone?
It wasn't a Blueberry. It
No?
was like a Motorola Razr or something like that.
Okay, yeah. I think I see the phone.
Yeah. So,
The
but yeah, it was just for
Motorola,
texting and.
Yeah.
I remember I had a girlfriend at the time, and I
Texting her?
Yeah, texting her, and I couldn't even figure out how to send her a heart because I was trying to do like the
the
three
the
and
three,
the
the
three
three and the but I was only doing the equal sign and a 3.
like just a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
So it's good times.
Yeah. And I wrote down kind of a silly question. And I wrote like if there's ever a nuclear war between Canada and the UK, like for which country like are you fighting for? No, I mean not really a war, but like do you identify more as a Canadian or maybe a British or no? Like it's kind of like both and mixed.
That's a really good question. I think I think British blood is running through my veins, but I identify more as a Canadian.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe it. Like deep down, I know that I'm from England, and British, but at the same time, I've been living more of my life in Canada.
Yeah, you grew up in Canada.
When I think about when I used to live in England, I have memories, but they, are almost like little pictures. I don't really have like good. I remember my friends, and I still keep in contact, but. Yeah, I'd say I identify more as Canadian, so I'll take the Canadian side in this war.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, like, since the season's over, like, what are you gonna do next now?
Yeah, so right now I don't know where I'm gonna end up next season.
You might stay here or no? There's no kind of like zero chances.
It's not looking too much like it, Okay. I spoke to the coach, and right now they got 2 other French guys, and me and Clément were kind of like, he's one of the other French guys, and we were kind of like pretty much at the same level, and then it's just a lot less expensive to have a French guy, and I think I was a good part of the team, like in terms of skill and just bringing everyone together and stuff. So it's not like in a bad way that I'm not staying. It's just with the budget and everything. It's just how it is. So there's no hard feelings. But yes.
So where are you going next?
I don't know yet. I'm waiting kind of for Samika to reach out to some teams. He mentioned maybe Slovenia, maybe Spain.
Spain is cool.
Yeah, so
could you play for the national team?
It's possible, yeah, but
the Canadian team.
Yeah, like the Canadian national team.
Yeah, because it's your country.
Yeah, so it is possible, but I don't think I'm quite at the level to make the team. Because you can go and try out for the team.
You have some tries to go.
Yeah, so you can try out for the B team. And then once you kind of are in the B team and you play well enough, then you get selected to go to the A team. And I tried out for the B team one year and I got cut, and I don't know. It's a big commitment as well, because once you finish your pro season, then you go right into national team too. And
don't have much of a holiday or rest thing.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I really enjoyed being outside in the summer and
just
chilling and seeing my friends, and
like you have your life from September to March or April, and then your real life with your friends. And
yeah, exactly.
I had that feeling last summer when I'm at INSA since last year.
Okay.
So I came to INSA all the way to June.
Yeah.
And it felt like kind of real life. But then I went back to where I live. And I was just like, damn, that is life. Not right. At INSA, and it just felt like 2 different separate things of life, and it's kind of weird. I don't know if you feel like that, like you can do whatever you want, just go grab a beer with your friends or go to the beach or anything, and don't think about work or...
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, man. Yeah, it's like I live like two lives, honestly, man. Yeah. Like I have my European George, and then I have my Canadian George,
Okay. And which one do you prefer?
Which one do I prefer? I like both. I like both. I don't think I prefer either one, because
honestly, it's cool. Yeah.
I like aspects of both. Obviously, I miss my friends in Canada. And my family.
They all live in Canada the whole year, or they live in different places?
My family, or
your friends?
My friends, yeah. Usually they stick around in Canada. Like sometimes they go traveling, but it's pretty rare for them to make a Europe trip. It's kind of a big trip. So yeah, I like seeing my friends and partying and just having some fun. But then. Yeah. I also like coming to Europe and then partying and just kidding, playing volleyball, meeting new people and new friends, and especially being in 3 different countries the last 3 years.
Yeah, you like changing countries and cultures and
I think it's amazing to do, especially while I'm still young, and I've been grateful that. My teammates have all been nice, in each country I've been to. So I think if I maybe didn't have a good experience, have a little bit of a less positive outlook on it, you know. But all the teams I've been to and the support staff within the organizations have been good too. So I enjoy this like lifestyle.
Cool.
You know?
And how do you manage to have a good communication with the team while you're playing?
Like with the language barrier difference
exactly.
kind of thing. Well, the nice thing for me is like English is my first language, so thankfully, like no matter what country I go to, everyone kind of can speak a little bit, you know, and I'm very lucky for that. But usually there's not too wide of a vocabulary in when you're on the court, you know. So if someone says something to you, you can usually tell by their tone of voice or maybe their hand action. So
because I know sometimes in sports where it's going very fast, you have to speak, but you can't like search your words or something like that. You have to go straight. I agree. For me, it would be hard to do sports, to sail with a crew that's not speaking French.
Oh, okay, yeah, I could see that. Do you mostly work with, or did you play with mostly French sailors?
Yeah, on the same boat, I'm usually sailing with a French guy, but then I'm competing against people international from other countries.
Okay, that's cool.
I know a bit the vocabulary in English, but that's not natural to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you have some time in your career or having to sail with strangers or people not speaking French, or you usually stay in the French crews?
I spent a lot of time sailing with people from other country, especially from Netherlands and also Spain.
On the same boat?
Germans.
On the same boat?
No, not on the same boat, but on the same clinic, on the same training
camp.
Training camp. Yeah. So the coach were speaking English and extra. So I learned a bit about the vocabulary, the expression, etc. But like when you're sailing as a crew on the same boat, it's a bit different. You have to like I said, you have to go straight. You have to speak fast because the thing goes very fast. So like I couldn't like been searching my words as I do now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And like you're telling us, like you like spending the summer in Edmonton. Like what is there to do in Edmonton during the summer? Because for me, like my grandparents live near the sea.
Okay.
And so Edmonton, since it's not near a coast, like for me, like having to pass a summer without having like the sea nearby, it's kind of like I don't know. It sounds weird. Kind of like it feels weird.
It sounds terrible, hey?
No, not terrible. But like, no, it depends. Like, if there's a lot of things to do, it doesn't mind. Like, I don't mind, but like,
No, yeah, and I'm just joking. It depends. The nice thing about Canada is you've got quite a lot of lakes.
Yeah,
so like
that's true.
People love to just go to the lake, and even in Alberta, you got Pigeon Lake, which is just 45 minutes away from Edmonton, Wizard Lake, and people have their boats and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's big.
That's one thing that I got put onto by one of my friends, Jason Miller, back home. His family loves the boating and stuff on the lakes, and I'd never really even thought about it so much, just being from England and stuff. You just
yeah, that's true.
Lakes,
that's true. Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Big so yeah, he's taken me out a couple times during the summer on the boat, and I just.
And you go fishing?
We have gone fishing
with the pro bass hat.
Oh, you know it. Man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
You gotta have the pro bass hat.
That's it. Wait, this one.
It's Bass Pro.
Oh, Bass Pro. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Bass Pro hat. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Like, everyone must have this. I got a shirt like Bass Pro, Bass Pro shirt. Yeah. I bought it when I went in the Caribbean. They were one. I was like, oh, I gotta have this because it's so it's flashy. Yeah. And I think with the girls, it works a lot. No. Like we have like I don't know if you know Noémie. She used to play in the US last year, like volleyball.
Okay.
She's like Peter. She
plays in the national team at the.
She's a student in INSA, and she plays on the rec.
Okay.
And she told me like she was living in OKC in Oklahoma City, and she told me that back there, like if someone. No, it's not the fact that to have a Bass Pro shop's hat, but it's just like the guys who had those kind of hat. And like we're fishing out and be like, oh look, I fished like 2 big fish. Yeah. Like it was something like wow. Like women were like, whoa, okay. This guy is like, whoa, you know. Okay. And like having this kind of hat is kind of like like a swaggy thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. There's I think it depends on the girl, obviously what she's into.
Yeah.
When you think like classic kind of like American fisher guy, you think the Bass Pro hat, the picture with the fish.
Yeah, exactly, with the 2 fish, like, the big one like this.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a real thing. Yeah, and also what else people do in Edmonton is they like to just golf, Yeah, and I think this is just from my experience, just growing up. It always changes whatever age group you're in. But yeah. People like golf, playing sports, just whatever they enjoy.
It's not too hot during the summer?
Not usually. In Edmonton, no. It's maybe when it gets to around 30 degrees, it's like, that's pretty hot, But sometimes it gets a little bit hotter, but it's not the hottest place in Canada for sure. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
And last time we talked about like the differences between like the girls here in France and the girls in Canada, like the way that you approach them, or maybe like the way that I don't know what you do with girls, but like like sometimes you told me that in France,
boys like you
boys, boys, we don't discriminate, we don't care, like, but so like. What's the differences between like the girls and like maybe the romantic or sexual approach that you have with girls in France or in Canada, or like in other places that you went, for example, in Austria or like Czech Republic, or maybe England as well?
Good question. I was wondering when you guys were asking about girls, I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
No, good question. I think one thing that I've noticed in France more is like the girls are a little bit more cold when you first meet them, and by that I just mean it's kind of hard to describe, but I don't know. I just think maybe the girls in Canada tend to be a little bit more friendly on first impression, whereas the girls here are a little bit more. I don't know how to describe it. They just maybe, I don't know, have more different distance, expectations, maybe? Or more distance, maybe stuff like that. But once you kind of get to know them, or break that barrier a little bit, they warm up and stuff. So it's
Because and you might say that it's kind of like easier, like in Canada. Or like no,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you got me.
No disrespectful way.
Yeah,
you
just
mean? Yeah, I know what you mean.
Just in a.
I think maybe the culture in North America, especially, is a little bit more open, and you know what I mean. But yeah, I don't know how much, how deep into the subject I should go on the podcast. But,
I mean, I don't know. Okay.
You know
I remember once with Kéo, because we were on the same floor, and we were talking about, like kind of like the way that you talk with women and the way that men interact with women. Do you remember? We had a kind of discussion, and like that with confidence, like kind of like confidence is the key with girls. And like even though you might not be like the greatest, the tallest, the strongest, if you go up to a girl and just be kind of like confident, like just be, I don't know, be cool with it. Like it's
about attitude.
Yeah, exactly. And it's because you remember you can tell us like you had like kind of a friend who wasn't really hot and he was successful.
Yeah. That's real. Yeah, no cap.
no cap. Yeah, yeah. He told me like he had a friend who wasn't really like kind of like not really athletic or really like kind of hot looking, but he was successful with women because he was genuine and just natural and like maybe like sometimes like the confidence may be the key, and that like some guys I think that they like overthink and they are like I don't really know, and sometimes you just go for it and go act and like
no, I think I agree with what you're saying, and I think obviously it depends on the situation and the context and everything, but at the end of the day, just being authentic and being yourself is pretty much the best way to go about it. And having some confidence is definitely gonna help you. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think having like social awareness is very important too. Like if you try, you're going up to a girl, you're trying to, impress her or just get to know her or something, and then you can just immediately tell like
if she's
she's not giving you back much. It's like it's no stress, just like nice to meet you, and
that's it.
Yeah, it's not worth wasting your time or stressing over something that just isn't meant to be.
Yeah. And I had another question, but I forgot about it.
No worries. I guess one thing I wanted to talk about though in terms of volleyball and just life is like something some of the coaches in Canada would always talk about is leaving your jersey in a better place than you found it, kind of thing. And by that they mean just once you put on your jersey, you want to almost leave a legacy in the way that you act and you play. And then once you take the jersey off, and for example, the next number 12 that's gonna wear this jersey for rec, I hope he has the same mentality where he's like, I'm gonna put this jersey on and I'm gonna bring something to the table that hasn't been brought before, or like add something positive to the club, and
to always want to add some value to the team and to
exactly. And like don't just put on a jersey and then like not have some purpose and something to prove. And I think that like applies outside of volleyball too, just like if you enter a workspace or something, you want to leave it better than you found it.
And you think that you have cheated with the rec in Rennes this year?
I've tried to. I mean, I haven't really asked anyone, but I think that's always my goal whenever I go to a team is to kind of put on the jersey and leave it better than I found it. Yeah. So I tried.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think I did. But
it's a good mentality.
That's true.
Yeah.
Never thought about it. It's crazy.
When I first heard it too, I was like, damn, that's deep.
That's
deep,
No cap.
And it relates actually to like the New Zealand All Blacks rugby team, because they had written a book, and there's our coaching university, Brock Daviduck, had us kind of analyze this book in different chapters, and that was one of the.
And so you read it?
I read. But at the same time, it's too far away from everything else. Yeah. So Canada's like a good place for me to live, I think.
une bonne idée ça.
Yeah, but I realized I didn't clap, but it's gonna be maybe a problem for the recording because like just to adjust because when you clap a camera because for like the clap of the sound like recording with the mic and this and the image with the camera.
Right.
So if you want to like sync those because we're not recording like the audio with the camera, so we gotta sync.
Oh, okay.
And so it might be hard if we don't do the clap because we didn't do it before, and so maybe it will be like kind of like delayed, you know. Maybe the voice will be in front of the. So that's why I thought about it, but it may be too late. But yeah.
Okay.
Next time we'll know.
It's a learning process.
Exactly. Yeah. Just trying with you.
No, I like how you guys are enthusiastic about this like podcast stuff. So it's
honestly,
cool,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we thought about it like 3 weeks ago.
Because all of us were so happy like to be in a podcast and just to have the experiences. Yeah.
And you guys were probably just having good talks.
Yeah, that's
talks amongst you guys. And
And so we were like, we should start a podcast.
Yeah, late night.
Yeah,
talks.
exactly.
Yeah,
Like deep talk.
Yeah.
And like my girlfriend, she made me realize something, and I don't know if that's true, but like she told me like always when I talk about like how deep of a conversation I have with someone, it's with the guy, like it's not with the girl. Like, and she told me like always when you tell me like oh yeah today I really talk with this guy, and like it's always a guy, never with a girl, and I was like I mean I don't discriminate, like I'm not gonna talk to a girl, and so I thought like why is it that she's telling me this? I don't know.
It would
like,
be embarrassing for you if you say to a girl like you are having a deep conversation with another girl.
Oh yeah, for my girlfriend. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's maybe why I was as well. But but and also or maybe with guys you feel like you can like maybe you can really tell what you feel, and maybe with a girl since there is kind of like not a romantic, but you know sometimes it may be kind of like not really the full friendship, or I don't know, but sometimes but like honestly it had me thinking, and I don't have an answer to it, but I don't know, maybe we could talk about this, you know, for example. Because sometimes I realize that I have deep conversations with girls too, but like sometimes it's more of my bros, but maybe I have like real friends, maybe it's more men than women, I don't know. Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think sometimes with guys, you know, you can just say something and then you just let it sit and you like think about it. Maybe with a girl, because you know how there's always just like, it's very like rare that a girl and a guy can become very deep, close friends and not like
in a weird way
have some more intimacy, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think, once, for example, like, I don't know, how long have you been dating your girlfriend for?
For less than a year, like, kind of like...
Okay, and you guys have some deep talks?
We had, we had, but it's because she's my girlfriend, I guess. Or no, I mean, I don't know, because